100 vaccines in 100 days. We're joined by NBC's Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, great to have you here. The president exceeding his goal of 100 vaccinations, also sending out 100 million stimulus checks. Is this just too obvious of a win-win for this administration early?
Well, yeah, I think it looks good. He set achievable goals, and he's hitting those metrics. And I think that in some ways, as he meets one metric, you're like, okay, now you better meet the next one, right? So I do think the checks in people's bank accounts, that is a tangible way for people to see, oh, that's part of that COVID relief deal. I think getting schools open before the end of the school year, seeing more kids go back to school, that will be seen, I think, as sort of a part of the promises he made there. Hitting that metric where everybody who wants a vaccination is on the list in May and gets it by the end of May. You know, I think in all these cases, as long as he keeps hitting these achievable goals, I think it only helps make this COVID relief deal a political win for him.
So he's got some momentum on that front. He's now talking about either next week or soon his infrastructure plan that does include a tax increase, perhaps for companies going to 28%. What are the political perils for him? And I imagine facing a much more uphill battle on that front.
So, Charles, I think this is going to basically take up the rest of the year. All right. You're going to see, you know, and you've seen a version of this before in Washington. They'll introduce this big idea of an infrastructure plan. You'll see some attempts at smaller bills, and they may even pass some that are bipartisan, but they might be very narrow. But the big thing that might include a tax increase, I think that is something, while they'll try to negotiate with the other side in the same way they passed COVID relief, sometime by the end of this calendar year, perhaps November, maybe a little bit sooner than that, but October, November, December, in that period, I expect them to pass a massive infrastructure bill, and I assume they'll have to do it on a party line vote if it includes that kind of tax increase that they're talking about, either on the corporate side, because there's just not, while there is some occasional interest in fiscal discipline by various members, I do not think you're going to see some Republicans be willing to sign off on a direct tax increase.
Chuck Todd with NBC's Meet the Press. Chuck, we appreciate your time, and you can always watch Chuck Todd every Sunday morning right here on today's TMJ4.